Inspiration. Such a demanding thing. Or does it have to be?
You can't make something if you're not consuming something.
Or I create art in ordinariness. One doesn't have to look very far.
Let me say a cosmic phenomenon.
In conversations, ideas come to life.
All of these things can be well springs of creativity.
I want to be able to teach people, inspire people. That's where it all began.
Somehow managed to see an opportunity where others didn't. Get it off the ground, people resonate with it, and it's become its own thing.
They told a story around it, and that's what really inspired me. There's so many possibilities. It's a very big pond, I guess.
Thankful that I got super bored not doing anything, so that made me start putting myself out there. Just be yourself.
Just appreciate everything.
It's all material. It's a podcast for and by creatives. My name is Aubrey, and I dare say it's all material. Let's get to the nitty-gritty now, shall we? It's all material. Welcome to the show where we talk about all things creative and the other things that come with it. This podcast aims to show some love to artists all over the world, and I'm so thrilled to have this amazing woman as my guest today. She has been one of the best people to get creative advice from and to even get life advice from, because she's so talented and so smart, and she also has a way of inspiring those around her to do their best work and be their best selves as well. Hey, Duane, what's up? How's it going? How's the holidays?
Everything's fine. We're here at my brother-in-law's place, and we're in a holiday mood.
I know, right? And I'm disturbing you on a holiday with my request to, hey, how would you like something to do?
I think this is still very much part of a holiday mood.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that that's the case. And you know what? Since the day I heard you perform your original songs, I've already been amazed because of how beautiful your lyrics are. Because I just noticed that you have this way with words. I mean, ever since we were younger, whenever I hear words that you wrote, I know that it's you. And it's like, I'd like to describe it as a conversational type of lyrics, the words that you often use in a conversation and the way you phrase them into the melody. I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air from everything that I hear and everything that I write for that matter. I mean, it's non-dramatic, and I love that. It's so unique, in my opinion. And I was just really curious on how you started out when you were writing songs.
It's a difficult question to answer because I started out not really believing that I could write songs, as songs. I started out just really playing with words, and because I'm a word person, I like words. But then when it comes to putting melody to them, I didn't really think that I could do something like that successfully. But then if you remember, I started talking to you and asking you about your process and how you could actually write songs. And then I think I got inspired from that conversation with you as well.
Aww.
And yeah, I started going back to songs or to verses and choruses that I had written years before, and I started actually finishing the song.
Wow.
And when it comes to lyrics, I think of them as I resonate a lot with what you just said. I think of it as something that I would actually tell a person.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you hear from a movie? It's really something that you tell a person in real life.
Yeah, that's how it usually happens. But I also had this experience just recently. Someone wrote poetry, and which was actually for her husband to be, and asked me to transform her poetry into a song. So that was also an interesting process. It was different because I was using someone else's words. So the challenge was to put melody into someone else's words. But yeah, it was still still something I managed to pull off.
How does that feel though? Creating melodies using someone else's words. Does that kind of take you out of your comfort zone in a way?
Yes. Especially since there were some phrases that were new to me. She used words like your flustered cheeks.
Ooh.
And yeah, I these were words that I don't use in conversation. Maybe because I don't describe anyone with flustered cheeks. Yeah. So
You
what I
got
did was
flustered
I
cheeks.
imagined, yeah, I got flustered too. So what I did was I imagined how is that supposed to sound? If it's a love song, how could that sound? I had to tweak a few expressions just to fit the melody. So I didn't use all of the words exactly as they were. So there were a few changes I had to make. But in the end, as a song, it's something I still love singing. I think it was a success. But I still have to share it with her though.
Nice. I remember that line that people used to say that there's a fine line between lyrics and poetry. Do you believe in that, or is that just pishikaka for you? What do you think?
Fine line between lyrics and poetry. Yes, yes, I would agree because sometimes or many times the songs that I have usually start out as just as poetry or my attempts at poetry, and then the melody just comes to me.
Mm.
It's something it's difficult to explain. Like when people ask me about what comes first, the words or the melody, it's usually the words for me. So it's usually poetry first, and then the melody comes to me once the words are in place.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how it happens in my experience.
we all have our like different processes. It amazes me that you put words first. That's really tough. Like for me, I want to put in the melody first because then
Oh,
I can put the syllables in and the notes
yeah,
in, and then that's the time that I would fit my lyrics in it. I think that's also one of the reasons why I admire your work so much. It's because you would know that you put a lot of thought in your
hmm.
words. Like it's not that I'm saying that I'm not putting thought in whenever I'm writing, but now that you told me about your process, now I
Uh-huh.
understand
Yeah.
why it has that impact on me.
When you write your song, you start off with the melody.
Yes, that's what I usually do. And I put it on my voice
Whoa.
recordings. And then once I have the melody, I find the chords and then the lyrics come last. Is that weird?
Yeah, that I think that's difficult.
What?
You start off humming.
Yes.
Is that how? Wow.
Just like one of those musical characters that just burst into song every
Uh-huh.
time you
Wow.
But you know the feeling when when you're doing something really ordinary and then
Yeah.
you just think of a certain tune that you feel could be a potential song,
Yeah.
and then I just hit record right away. And I think that's also part of building up just those ideas and like getting
Yeah.
them on a jetpack. They can
Hmm.
just fly away and be heard.
Yeah, I love the imagery. I remember Snow White when she was doing her chores, right? Let us fly in a song.
Or Cinderella. God, all of those Disney princesses are doing chores while singing. Like, do you remember
Yeah.
Giselle from Enchanted, that happy working
Yes.
song?
Yes. Definitely. So I guess that's how it happens to you, right? You start off with a tune.
And after that, I look for chords, and I know that you've been part of the journey where I started with learning guitar, and then I remember sharing with you how
Yeah.
amazed I was with the instrument because it was so friendly.
Yes.
like,
Yes.
like I could just find anything from it. Like
Yes.
encyclopedia, it's the Wikipedia of instruments.
Of instruments.
It also depends on what works with people. Like some people, other instruments work better for them. Other instruments resonate more with the things that they want to create. But
Yeah.
with me, I really found it with guitar. What about
Hmm.
you? I know that you've been playing guitar ever since we were in high school, and you were so good at it. And you're like the OG guitarist girl.
I can't say the same thing for the present time, but I've heard people say that the keyboard, once you've learned the keyboard, it becomes easier to learn guitar.
Mm.
Yeah, because for the keyboard, I think all the notes and the chords are just right in front of you.
Yeah, you don't have to tune them.
For the guitar, there's tuning and there's a
Mhm.
lot of pressure on the fingers, but then it's different for the keyboard.
Oh yeah,
But it's interesting because from you, it's a different. I think the guitar opened up a lot of worlds for you
I know.
because the experience is very positive.
What about you? Did you start with keys as well, or did you start with guitar?
I took the guitar seriously, but I remember my late grandmother teaching us the keyboard.
Oh, bless her soul. She was the best.
Yeah.
So who taught you guitar?
It was a lot of different people. There were my brother, my father, my even my mother also contributed to the
Everybody in
everyone in
the
the family.
family knew how to
Yes.
play.
I started with more than words, but only until before the verse.
I get you. Intro voice.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it was everyone else's first song
I know,
for
right?
the classroom. Diba? So
Exactly.
yeah, we learned guitar through more than words.
Aside from Bamboo's Masaya, either more than words or Bamboo's Masaya.
Because they have the same chord progression, I think.
Oh yeah, they do. Who was like your childhood hero in terms of music? Probably heroes. Probably you have a lot. Maybe you can mention some.
My grandmother taught me how to sing. She was very strict, but at the same time, I learned a lot from
Mm,
her. So every summer, we would visit her
mm.
house, and we would, aside from having the best peanut butter and other snacks,
Oh,
it was also a time to learn how to sing. She would give us pieces. So as young as grade 3, she already made me sing songs from Les Miserables.
wow.
Yeah, she taught me how to sing I Dreamed a Dream and On My Own.
Mhm.
And even without understanding what the songs were all about, like even without the whole context of the musical,
Yeah.
I was forced to learn those songs because she would ask me, "Okay, have you learned On My Own? And can you sing it now?" And we would sing it. It would be like a recital at her house. So
And when you didn't have a choice, she's gonna be like, "You'll thank me later."
yeah, that's true. That's true. And we would try to put some variations into songs like Fly Me to the Moon. I would sing it a different way. I would sing it the way City would sing it. And she would be like, in Tagalog, she would say, Huwag ganyan, anak. It's not the way to do it. So I learned how to stick to how the song is sung in the original.
She was really old school. Wow.
Yeah.
That discipline though.
So yeah, she made me learn the original version of the song. This was a very different experience because her younger sister was a jazz band vocalist. I could consider them both as my heroes. They gave me the best of both worlds.
Hmm.
So I would hear my other Lola Mommy's younger sister, Lola Baby. I would hear her sing, and it would be a different experience. She would
Ooh.
sing songs by Astrud Gilberto, hearing Girl from Ipanema. And it was an interesting, to say interesting would be an understatement.
Yeah, just to loop in all of the listeners right now,
Yeah.
Lola Mamy is Hermie Uy. She was the one who wrote Miss Kita Kung Christmas, so she's a real legend.
Yeah,
And yeah, may she rest in peace. God, she was a huge influence
that's true.
to all of the people who are pursuing music right now.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the local Davao musicians would lovingly call her Lola Mommy, and I learned this like just a few years ago when I realized that a popular musician in Davao actually asked me how I was related to Herminia, whom he also called Lola Mommy or Tita Hermie.
Oh my
It was like
gosh.
everyone else, everyone
He's
else in the Davao
everybody's Lola
music.
Mamy.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
So if you could like live inside someone's mind for a day, whose mind would it be?
Oh my gosh. Whose mind?
I know it's like super random, but
Yeah.
I feel like you'll have a good answer to this.
If I could live in someone's mind, I would probably choose my husband's mind.
Why is that? I'm curious.
Because my husband sees a lot of things that I don't see. Like he anticipates needs, he anticipates solutions to problems I didn't even
Ooh,
didn't
advanced
even
mag-isip?
yes, advanced, super advanced. And then he ends up being right about these things that he anticipated. So
He's got the gift of foresight.
that's true. It would be a treat to see the world through his eyes and maybe understand the world a bit better. I'm usually the kind of person who just takes things as they are when they come.
Mm.
But then
Hmm.
I guess it would also be good for me to see things before they even happen and anticipate them in a way and perhaps prepare for them because I anticipated them.
Like, I knew you were coming. That's why I had my kilay on.
Yes.
Something like that. And your husband is also such a sweet drummer. He's like so good.
Yes. We met through philosophy, which is the other part of my world.
Oh, right, right.
He was a seminarian and he cross enrolled at our university and we became classmates in metaphysics.
Ain't nothing physicser than metaphysics.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that.
it's beyond. Yeah. So that's how we
Yeah, how did you know that he was also a musician? Like, how did you find out?
we visited the prayer house where he served at the community and I saw that there was a drum set. That's how I learned that he played the drums. That he was not just a drummer, but he was actually a
Mhm.
music major in college.
Yes, that's right. And now you two have a band together and you'll also have your music up on Spotify. And I'm so proud of you both.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we a way for us to bond, to deepen our relationship. Music is one opportunity, one way that really brought us together.
With that music that you two made, you're the main songwriter and then he's the one who arranges the stuff. Am I right?
Yes, when I finish a song, I let him listen to the song, and then he gives input to how the song can be better, how the song can be improved. Like he says
Mm.
things like you can prolong this part, or you can add a verse to this part, or he even suggests some melodic lines for me.
Mm.
What's great about my husband is that he knows a lot of people who can help us out. So an example is, Rickson Ruiz in Manila.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was great. He was the one who produced Takip Silim, right?
Yes, and conversation started.
Oh, he was also the one who did that. Nice. Oh,
Yes,
can you
yes.
tell people what your Spotify handles are or Facebook page for you and Dale so that they can listen to your music
Oh,
whenever they want?
yeah, on Spotify we are Duane and Dale, and we have 3 songs there. Conversation Starter, Takip Silim, and Afterthought. Conversation Starter and Takip Silim were both produced by Rickson, while Afterthought was produced by Limuel de la Raiz, who's our friend in.
I think I know Lemuel.
Yes,
That
met
was
him.
him. Good job,
Yes.
man. Wow.
Yeah, he's also getting into music production now. He's working with his friends and I think they're making waves in the Soxargen region.
Oh, that's nice. Did he move there recently?
No, he's actually from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Going back to his roots. That's nice.
Yeah.
What other experiences have you had that sparked your creativity? And, how did these experiences fuel your will to create? Like, what things made you feel like, hey, I should make something out of this? I think this is worth making something out of or worth listening to. So I'm gonna just do my magic.
Yeah, I like that question. It's actually part of the description that I wrote in our Spotify page where I create art in ordinariness. There's a whole range of experiences that become a source for
Wow.
my songwriting. Apart from songwriting, just the writing in itself. It's not which doesn't have to be turned into a song.
Yes.
So there was a concrete experience would be how Takip Silim came about. So Dale and I were on our way to just buy lechon manok outside the condo where we live. He told me to look at the sunset because it happened to be majestic at the time. A majestic sunset in
Okay.
Parañaque City. That's almost impossible, right? I mean, you don't hear of great sunsets when you're just in Metro Manila,
Mhm.
unless you're beside Manila Bay. But so we were there. It was a beautiful sunset approaching dusk, and I took a picture of it. And then when we got home, I wrote the verse to Takip Silim. That's not a very special experience, but as for turning it into something creative or creating something out of it, something that happens to me. It's not easy to explain, but I guess the main takeaway that I can share from the experience is that in order to be creative, one doesn't have to look very far.
Yeah.
There are everyday experiences and even a conversation, even one line or one smile from someone else, whether you know the person or you don't know the person. All of these things can be well springs of creativity if the person simply bothers to look more deeply into the experience.
That's right. So, is it safe to assume that you don't ever get creative block, or do you still get it?
Oh, I still get creative block.
How do you deal with it?
I just give myself time. Yeah, I do things that are not necessarily creative, like watch TV shows or eat. The thing about me right now is that I'm doing something academic. So I'm writing my dissertation,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm writing all of these songs. So my advisor told me, if you can write these songs, then of course you can write the dissertation. So what's happening to me at present is that the creativity is sort of a push for me to take my academic writing more seriously. But in reality, sometimes the creative things I do distract me, or in a more positive sense,
Mm.
instead of just distracting me. I think they they help me convince myself that I can still write.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Especially when you're trying to complete a task.
Yes.
Like, I can get through this. I was able to finish that song and I was able to find that darn chord that I was looking for.
Yes.
So, how could this be any harder?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm struggling with a paragraph. If I can write a whole song, that's exactly what I'm going through. And my advisor said, you just think of it this way, Duane. That's just prose. When you can write poetry, that's just prose. But the thing about us when we're into art making is that the art making in itself doesn't take as much thought
Hmm.
as academic things, right? We can do art making for an entire day and feel the not feel the fatigue that we get from writing academic things for just 30 minutes.
I know, right? So, what was creative life like when COVID happened? What was that for you and Dale?
Interestingly for us, that was when the creativity started flowing. Yeah, the creative juices started flowing. Maybe because we had the time to sit down and do songwriting or be creative.
Awesome.
Because it was the time when I couldn't go out, when he would go out, because all we have is a motorcycle. And at the time, back riding wasn't allowed. And we
Mhm.
didn't dare buy a barrier because it was dangerous.
Exactly.
While I was home, I was talking to you, and that one conversation about writing a song or going back to songwriting pushed me to take it more seriously. And
Oh, that means a lot.
thank you. The pandemic actually pushed us to stare creativity right in the face and say, okay, we can do this.
I know, right? Like I got this. Like, you ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah.
Making art also has its fun parts and also the not so fun parts. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what's your most favorite part of the process of making your art or making your songs, and what's your least favorite?
I can't pinpoint to a particular part that's the same for all of the songs I've written, but I guess it's that part when there's this expression that I really want to place in as part of the lyrics, and then it
Mhm.
just fits.
That's right.
That's my favorite part.
Yes, it's a pasok sa banga moment.
Yes, exactly. For example, in Conversation Starter, the chorus is a phrase that I took from a movie line where Hugh Grant in The Gentleman says something like, "You can't assume or derive a climax from the sum of its parts." And I was like, "Can I write a song out of that?" And then I placed that in the chorus, and it succeeded.
Yes.
So that's my favorite part. My least favorite part would be the struggle to figure out how to put it in its place. That lyric the expression that I really like. So the struggle of getting there is something I don't particularly enjoy. But when it does happen,
Mhm.
then yeah, that's when the pleasure kicks in.
Yes, exactly. Like when you struggle sometimes in writing some lyrics that you want to put inside the song, but you just don't know which part to put it, and then you just leave it on your notepad and then go back to it again. Probably this will fit another song. And then-
Some other time.
some other time. Let's just put a pin on it for
Yeah.
now.
I can relate to that a lot. I have notes on my phone. I don't have a notepad, but I have notes on my phone, and some notes have been there. Some lyric to bees have been here since like
To
2 years
I
ago.
love that. Like the bride that never got married. The lyric to
Yes.
bees.
Yeah.
So, with all of these creativity flowing out of you, what do you think is your purpose? What is your purpose like in completing your songs, in sharing them with the world? Like, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
I don't have an answer to the ultimate why, but there's a why for each song. So, for instance, in Conversation Starter, the why was to articulate the experience of always starting out and not being afraid to start out, to strike a conversation even if the the response isn't always reciprocated. If the person you're trying to pursue, not necessarily romantically, but the person you're trying to get to know better doesn't always reciprocate it. So I wanted to articulate that experience. So that was the why for Conversation Starter. Takip Silim was Takip Silim's why was to express the beauty of a sun that's about to go. And yeah, so there are whys for each song. But I guess as an artist, perhaps a why that I'm still working out would be to create because simply because I can. It took a while for me to believe that, that I could create art, that I am an artist. I used to think I was just someone that could sing on key and pronounce words well.
Wow.
Yeah, I had that phase. So it took a long time, and a lot of convincing experiences for me to believe that I could. So now my
That's
why, yeah,
amazing.
thank you. So now my why is to create because I know I can.
Yeah. And that breakthrough, though, like when you finally said yes to yourself, when you gave yourself permission that I can.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
And congratulations for having that.
Thank you. So it also takes a lot of work to keep, the fire
Yeah.
burning.
And for the record, I always thought of you as an artist, just letting you know, even when you didn't feel like one. Yeah.
Aw.
With the things that you've already completed, with all of the songs that you made, what was your favorite?
So far, with the 3 songs that are out on Spotify, my favorite is still the first one, Conversation Starter. Because I think I was able to put so much of myself in the song. Like, love for words is there, so there are so many words in the song.
Hmm.
And the element of the experience that I'm trying to capture, that I tried to capture, I think I was able to place them there. It's my favorite so far. I love to I love listening to it. Well, I love listening to the other two, but yeah, when Conversation Starter comes on, it's like I'm proudest of being the one who
Yes,
wrote
yes.
it.
Like proud mom moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I ain't skipping this.
Like a mother hen moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I got that expression from you, that mother hen moment.
It's exactly how I feel about Conversation Starter. To the melody, whenever it comes on, I have this feeling that the song is so me.
You identify with it the most.
So far,
Mm.
it's the most me. The song that I feel most myself with. Do you have those songs too? Like, do you have a song that you most resonate with?
Is it weird that I have that feeling about that certain song, but I haven't released it yet? So it's still in the works.
Oh, wow.
But you will know soon
Oh,
enough which song it is.
okay, yay. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because I was also in the middle of recording the EP, but I got sick last October, remember? So it was
Yeah,
put to a
yes.
pause, but hopefully, yeah, truly, I believe in 2022 I'll be able
Yes.
to complete the whole package, the whole entourage. And
Yay.
I'm so excited too for some new music coming from you. Are you planning on releasing more stuff this year?
Uh, yeah, just yesterday we recorded the song for the friend who wrote the poem for her
Oh,
fiance. And I don't think we're supposed to release it until
the wedding day?
they've gotten married. So
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't want to jinx it.
yeah. So yeah, that's the latest project.
Like it'll be on your page. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll be letting her know too.
Oh, what a pleasant surprise. Like
Uh-huh.
So where do you see yourself in music 10 years from now, or even in writing, creative wise?
Years from now, I see myself. Oh my god, I'm not really a goal person.
What do you
Um,
mean?
like there are people who can, set specific
Oh,
goals
but
and
you wrote that class prophecy for us like every graduation. Come on, come on.
yeah, I'm not a goal person. Things just happen to me, and then I decide. I think generally speaking, I just see myself writing more and maybe releasing more if there are opportunities to do so. So to phrase it as a statement, I don't see myself stopping.
That's a really great answer, actually.
Really?
Consistency is key. And anyway, can you invite people again to follow you guys on Spotify, on Facebook, everywhere, all your socials? Give it to them now.
We are on Spotify. We are Duane and Dale. We don't have a Facebook page as Duane and Dale, but we do have a Facebook page as Travelers. So on Facebook, we are Gravy with Punch. Gravy because I used to be Gravador, and Punch because he's Pancho. There on Gravy with Punch, we're not publicizing the music specifically, but we're sharing our travels as a riding couple, whether
Yeah.
whether in Luzon or in Visayas or in Mindanao. So it's really all over the Philippines. So that's also exciting.
It's travel goals.
Yeah, travel goals.
Yes.
So if you like traveling and if you like the sea, if you like mountains, the videos on Gravy with Punch are for you. But on the other hand, if you're into music and if you'd like to hear more of our stuff, again, you're Duane and Dale on Spotify.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I really appreciate your time.
Aw.
And you are like one of the best people who always give me really good creative advice. And every time I feel like I'm lost, you know that I can always count on you, and just means a lot to me. And it means a lot as well to like all of the other people who also want to be musicians, who want to pursue music, because when they know that you're doing what you're doing, they will also believe that they can.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's such an honor to hear it from you, knowing that you've been writing music for longer than I have. I'm a newbie to this, and I will always go back to that conversation that we had. That give me that internal push to pursue this creative life. So if you're telling me that I'm inspiring people by what I do, well, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. You've
Aw.
inspired me to do it for myself. So yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. You're sweet. Thank you so much. And you have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
This is Aubrey, and you're listening to It's All Material. New episode every Thursday at 7 p.m.